Seconde qui passe, chaque seconde, la dette de la France
Every second that
augmente de
passes,
5 000
every
euros.
second, France's debt increases by 5,000 to 5,000 euros in additional debt per second. That's where we Soms.et. That's why I believe that, as we have been saying since the installation of the government, we now have a duty to take responsibility. I believe that this is the last resort before the cliff, and the crushing by debt must be called by its name. It is a mortal danger for one country. If we see in the truth the weapon of the citizens, this is what we must share with the French.
France is broke, and they're expecting their people to work more in order to pay for it. France is drowning in debt.
Welcome to AfriPlus News Channel, your #1 destination for bold, intelligent, and Africa-first analysis. If you're passionate about the new Africa that is rising, taking back its voice and confronting global injustice, then this is the place for you. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this content with your friends and family. Your support helps us grow and continue to bring you relevant and important updates, just like this one. Now to today's explosive report. Burkina Faso is not rising. It has risen. The country is making undeniable progress, both economically and in terms of security. But even more shockingly, it is France that is now in crisis. Yes, France, the former colonial master, is deep in debt, unable to pay its workers, and is reportedly appealing to Ibrahim Traoré and other Francophone African leaders for a second chance. A new chapter is unfolding, and the power dynamics are shifting. Let's dive deeper. Just a few years ago, Burkina Faso was on its knees, dealing with poverty, foreign occupation, terrorism, and political instability. But under the fearless leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the narrative has changed completely. Burkina Faso is no longer defined by aid, dependency, or despair. The country is organizing itself, taking control of its resources, strengthening its military, and investing in its people. How often do we hear of African countries breaking free from neocolonial grip and actually thriving? Can you see what self-determination and visionary leadership can do? Are we finally witnessing the model of African governance that puts people before politics? Share your thoughts. Do you think Burkina Faso is setting the standard for a new Africa? And while Africa is rising, France is falling. Yes, France is in debt. The government can no longer afford to pay its workers.
France did not see what is happening in West Africa coming. So they find themselves at a time when they are very weak economically, when at home the population of immigrants is growing bigger and bigger. You go to cities such as Marseille, you find Algerians, you find Moroccans, you find Senegalese, you find Guineans, you find Burkinabe, and things are not happening as they used to be then.
Protests are erupting. Strikes are crippling essential sectors.
France is spending over 500 billion euros per year on welfare. That's over 30% of the entire economy spent on people who are not working and are not contributing to the system at all. Yet the Prime Minister had the courage to come out yesterday proposing to cut 2 public holidays to address the debt issue, because France is drowning in debt. They have a debt to GDP of over 120%, and they're running annual deficits of around 6%. That's wartime deficits. So the only real or viable solution the government has at this point is to cut on spending, which of course they don't want to do, because why would you stop spending somebody else's money? So they're coming out with these gimmicks of cutting public holidays, and they're eventually going to come with a proposal to hike taxes even more, which France really cannot do because they already have one of the highest tax burdens in the entire European Union and developed world for that matter. So there is only one viable solution for France. That is actually cutting on spending, or the alternative, which will be very costly for French citizens, is to monetize the debt, to go to the ECB and ask for more money to.
The so-called economic giant is now in a state of panic, and for the first time in modern history, it's not Africa begging France, but France reaching out to Africa, asking to come back, and this time promising to follow the rules.
France is broke, and they're expecting their people to work more in order to pay for it. France is drowning in debt, now at a staggering 3.3 trillion euros, with annual interest payments of 60 billion euros. And their solution? Well, the Prime Minister just announced a new austerity plan to bring the deficit down from 5.8 to 3% of GDP by 2029. And the flagship move to do this? Cancelling public holidays, namely Easter Monday and Victory Day in Europe. Clearly not important, and this should generate roughly 4.2 to 4.5 billion in extra revenue by making people work more. On top of that, they're freezing pensions, cutting healthcare by 5 billion euros, and slashing public sector pay and jobs. Because, taking away holidays, taking away pay, and cutting access to critical services is always a good way to keep French people from rioting. And yes, the backlash has already been intense. Unions say this is a real provocation against workers, and both the left and the right are threatening no confidence votes. And half the country thinks this is an assault on French cultural identity and hard-earned rest, while the bureaucrats in palaces, like those at the Economic, Social and Environmental Council, enjoy $121,000 salaries, 54 days off, lavish perks, while taxpayers foot the bill, roughly 45 million euros per year. So apparently France isn't suffering from a revenue shortage, it's suffering from bureaucratic bloat and a budget built more on perks than on productivity. But what do you think? Is France overdue a reality check, or is this a step too far? French people, I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
What kind of global shift is this? Are we finally seeing the tables turn? What does it mean when the colonizer is now pleading with the colonized? We want to hear from you. Do you believe France has truly changed? Or is this just another strategy to re-enter Africa through the back door? Drop your opinions respectfully in the comment section below. But the most symbolic part of this shift is how Ibrahim Traoré has humbled Emmanuel Macron and his proud French politicians. The same Macron who once dismissed African voices with arrogance and entitlement is now facing the reality of a new Africa, an Africa that no longer bows. Traoré did not just reject France's military presence. He demanded dignity, sovereignty, and mutual respect. And now France, in desperation, is returning with promises and apologies. Is this not the beginning of true African diplomacy? Are we finally seeing leaders who can say no and mean it? Will other African presidents follow this path, or will they fall back into the trap of foreign dependency? Let us know what you think. Does Traoré inspire confidence in Africa's future, or is this movement too fragile to last? France's current plea is more than just a request for re-engagement. It's an admission of failure. For years, France used Francophone Africa as an economic crutch, milking resources, manipulating politics, and exploiting local economies. Now that many of these countries have cut the cord, France is feeling the full weight of independence, but not theirs, Africa's. This is a rare moment in history. Should Africa open the door to a France that has never fully acknowledged its crimes? Should we allow them back into our countries under new terms? Or should we finally turn the page and focus on building Pan-African partnerships?
Breaking news, France's biggest mining company is about to file for bankruptcy or because of Niger. This company has been in Niger for so many years, taking Niger resources, uranium, for small or no payment at all. They were supposed to be taking 63% of uranium, but they were taking 86%, and they were not paying tax for this amount. They were not paying proper money for this one. Can you believe this? 1 kilo of uranium, they were paying $0.86. Where they were supposed to be paying $200. Can you believe this? So Niger president was just asking for fairness. We want you to start paying $200 per kilo, but they refused. They said, we cannot pay this amount. So Niger president decided to chase them out, and this company just took Niger to court. Can you believe this? But Niger said that this company is not paying tax, and they are mining more than they were supposed to be mining. So we don't want them in my country. I don't want them in my country. I want to nationalize our resources. Now Niger has more electricity than it did before. Before Abdourahmane Tiani became the president, only 15% of Niger were able to access electricity, but now 70% of Niger, they have electricity.
What does genuine collaboration mean in a post-colonial world? Share your opinions in the comments section. We want to know your view. This unfolding drama should also serve as a warning to all African leaders. Don't sell your people's future for short-term praise from the West. Burkina Faso is proving that it is possible to build without begging. It is possible to govern without foreign interference. It is possible to create security without foreign troops. But this requires courage. It requires sacrifice. It requires leaders who love their people more than they fear the global elite. Are we prepared to support such leaders, or are we still clinging to the chains of comfort? Do you believe the African youth will rise and defend this new independence? Tell us in the comments. What role should ordinary citizens play in protecting the gains we are seeing today in Burkina Faso? Conclusion. Africa is not the dark, desperate continent that global media has tried to portray for decades. Africa is rising. In fact, Burkina Faso has risen. And now the world is watching. The balance of power is shifting. For the first time, France is not dictating terms, but asking for permission. The colonial master has returned, not as a ruler, but as a beggar. And it is up to Africa to decide what happens next. But one thing must be clear. This is our moment, and how we respond will define our future. So what do you think? Is this the beginning of Africa's true liberation? Is France finally humbled, or is this another trap disguised as diplomacy? Let's discuss it in the comment section. Please keep your opinions respectful and constructive. We are building a community of thinkers, not just viewers. If you found this video valuable, please support us by joining our channel membership and sending us a super thanks. Every contribution helps us stay independent, stay bold, and keep telling the truth the mainstream refuses to say. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to AfriPlus News Channel. Together, we are changing the narrative. Together, we are reclaiming Africa. Disclaimer. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. It reflects independent analysis and commentary based on publicly available sources and reported developments. AfriPlus News Channel does not support hate speech, violence, or misinformation. Viewers are encouraged to verify facts and engage respectfully.